time for another segment of the Grassy Knoll, and with us today is a name you're probably not all that familiar with, but maybe you should, and that is Eric Rainbolt, who has done an awful lot of writing on, shall we say, things that go bump at the night and the way things really are. And, we've only gotten in touch just lately, but he has a lot to say. He's put out a lot of information, and we're going to cover that today, in other words. So, Eric, welcome to the Grassy Knoll. For better or worse, you're with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. Boy, I hope to make your show very famous, because I think everybody in the world should hear this one. Hopefully they all understand English, because this does affect everyone in the world. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking about the world theater and how it's all being scripted in advance, and the proof of that. And my name is Eric James Rainbolt. I lived in Austin, Texas. Now I reside in Chicago. Software quality assurance person. I worked on the PowerPC microprocessor. So I'm a logical person, and when I discovered that 9/11 was an inside job, I was very concerned about it, and I had a show in Texas. But as I discovered more, I discovered that 9/11 was just one dot in this overall big picture of what's been happening over more than the past century.
Agreed.
And, wow, it was really an amazing discovery, but some other things happened to me. I can get into that later at the end of the show, but
okay.
I'd like to go into the book.
All right, well, look, let's take it back, because I will tell you without a doubt that listeners, and as I would be also, listening myself, want to hear how others finally, quote, got it, because it is a point of interest with one's age and with what one digest as far as what's going on with the mainstream news. Now, I will tell you, obviously, I'm 56, and it took me a long, long time to get it. I think people are getting it a lot quicker for those who want to look in that direction. I think you're one of them. So let me ask you this. You are a younger person. When did you finally realize that, the way things were brought to you and broken down in history books was not necessarily the way things really were? How did that all happen for you, Eric?
Oh, well, before 9/11, I knew that there was some truth to all the conspiracy information that came out. JFK, did we go to the moon? I knew there was something behind there, and I knew something was goofed up, but I was mainly just focused on my life and the rat race.
Right.
Trying to make as much for myself, and I had my head down. But when 2,973 people lost their lives on 9/11, I was in my backyard, all torn up about this in my heart. And at that time, the first miracle that ever happened to me, the voice of Jesus, I believe Jesus, surrounded me and called me my name. And it gave me the confidence to pursue the truth, and go down this dark hallway of history and find out what's actually happening. And believe me, it's scary. It's very scary, and I've known this for years, and probably right now, there's dozens of others that know about this and that have confirmed everything that I know about, but I've been bearing this weight for years. After reporting on television, after having a helicopter military buzz my house in 2003, and especially when Alex Jones did not follow through on his promise of helping me with the first book I wrote, I was just kind of freaked out, so I just left the country. I was out of the country for 3 years. I wrote 2 books outside the country, and now I'm just here to summarize the book that I wrote in 2005 called The Architecture of History. I was down in Guatemala, and I just happened to be on InfoWars one day, and I'm rarely on the internet, and that day was 6/11, June 11th of this year, and I noticed an article, and I clicked on it, and then this new realization of the pattern that I'll be discussing hit me, and I knew I just had to come back to the States and face the music and help get this information out, because what we're going to talk about is very startling. Actually, there's a date in the future that follows this sequence, and I'll talk about that There's so much to this.
All right, well, don't get ahead of yourself. Let's go back to what you had said, and that is, I guess your awakening when you were in Texas, I guess that's the state of your upbringing. Is that correct?
Well, no, I was here in Chicago, and I lived in Texas. I worked for Motorola down there for 10 years, and I came back after visiting Guatemala.
All right, so you were on business, can we say, when you went out to Texas and Guatemala? Or were you on just a personal journey?
I evacuated the country.
Okay, I got you.
That people were not realizing at all, and it was just bothering people that I knew about this, and I felt like the whole world was turning against me, and I met a fellow who is a believer, a Bible believer, or, in Revelations, and he knew all about the New World Order. He became my best friend. He was a musician, too, and we left, and we went on this adventure. I came back for a year. That's when I discovered that history was all architected, and I wrote the book, The Architecture of History. This book is at archive.org. You can look it up with my last name, Rainbolt, R-A-I-N-B-O-L-T.
All right, hold on. Let's say that again. R-A-I-N-B-O-L-T, right? Rainbolt.
Right, it's at archive.org. But people right now can download this 26-page report at linktoit.com. linktoit.com, and that'll automatically redirect people to the version of this summary on archive.org. So if people want to load that up right now, they can follow through as we go along, and they can actually, once they visually see the patterning, they'll be able to comprehend it more and actually go out and verify the facts on Google and all the rest. All the information is in the report for verification.
Eric, before 9/11, though, did you have any kind of clue that the way history has been portrayed now, and actually our lives in toto have been portrayed, was not necessarily the way things really were? Did you have any inkling about that in your life prior to the awakening, which, if it was, in fact, 9/11?
Oh, yeah, I knew the world, there was something screwy going on in the world, these world wars, most people don't want to go to war. There has to be some kind of force to get people's nations to rise up against each other, and there has to be lies. In fact, Napoleon said history is a set of lies agreed upon, and that's absolutely true. And now we face, the fact that if we don't study history, we're going to be doomed to repeat it. And, that's where we are. So 9/11 just tore me apart, and then I had a spiritual awakening. I was blessed by actually a series of miracles that have happened to me over the years, but the first one was a voice that just called my name, Eric, just loud and around me when I was crying about 9/11 all by myself, and it was a real voice, it wasn't inside my head. So I took that as, a confidence to go forward and do research on my own, and boy, I don't think anybody's been has looked down the tunnel as far as I have, actually, and discovered how monstrous and interlocked this global conspiracy has been for over 100 years, and it's not something new, and it's not just the United States, and it's not just this particular set of political leaders here. Well, they're not leaders, they're dealers, I call them. But
that's right.
They're characters. They're just they're actors.
They play the part, yeah.
Like Shakespeare said, the whole world's a theater, and it's managed by a theater company, and those are the Illuminati, or the capstone of the pyramid. The evidence that we're going to be talking about, it unmistakably proves this. So if anybody's on the fence, like if these people are real, or this is